JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight. You can follow the show's page.
All the pages.
All the pages. YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud. Watch, listen, like, share, tell your friends.
Do that. We'd appreciate that.
Happy Memorial Day. We also appreciate the veterans.
True.
Here and gone.
True.
Dwight?
They allow us to act like internet fools on the internet and
I know that, yeah, for
2018.
freedoms. Thank you.
Appreciate that. The world appreciates my ignorance.
You worked, but did you get to enjoy Memorial Day weekend at all? You worked the 2 big days of Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
Sunday and
Monday.
Monday.
It was kind of just a regular day, a regular weekend for me.
Oh, got hot dogs at work though?
Oh, we did.
Were they good?
And I was actually impressed. Hey, they actually grilled them.
Yeah, I saw the girls were outside.
I was really surprised.
Cool, awesome.
Now they grilled them and they gave a bag of chips and them stale chips and sauces they hand out for 60 Mile. But they were handing all that stuff out, and I was like, because on the sign it said enjoy a hot dog, and I was like, I'm a grown man, I'm gonna eat more than one. No, but they handed it out too. I was like, oh.
Very cool.
I was like, word. No. I didn't have shit going on, so I mean, it was whatever.
That was cool.
Got paid pretty well and got free meal, so I was like, oh, whatever.
Nice.
You know, it was a regular weekend, regular day for me.
Well, my girlfriend is pregnant.
No shit, you don't say.
So
You sure?
I had a DD.
You sure?
And I got to party all weekend with her family, with my family, with her family. Not with Dwight.
I mean, that's what's up, but I'm not okay.
She offered.
Hey, that's what's up.
Which I was pretty hyped about.
I'm not
So I appreciate her.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
As you should. Take advantage of that every opportunity you get. I'll see her on, what day is that party?
Coming up, Dwight.
July 19th? It is July. See her in July. What up, nephew?
Just under 2 months from now. I'd say about 6 weeks from now. You planned a pretty cool gathering of my friends, your friends.
People we know.
At a pretty cool place with a pretty cool DJ.
Man, this is all... Are you sure about all of that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I keep hearing that place is wet.
Places that we like.
I always
It's
hear
a place that we like.
I always hear the place is dead. Even
They
though
always hook us up.
Even
They
though
are
we're
our
the
people.
party, even though we're the party, so I was like, whatever.
We are always the party.
You know, whatever.
I have a tendency to not show up to things, what my friend told me. Even though I don't show up to things, because I show up and I'm the life of the party when I'm there.
Right.
People just forget that you didn't show up to the other things.
Right.
Because it's such a good time at the other times. That's not neither here nor there.
I think that's both of us, though. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Dwight always shows up. Dwight's better than me. Dwight's better than me. He's a better friend than I am.
Is that what it is? Dwight does show
Not to me, because Dwight and I, other than for a couple of WWE pay-per-views.
And a boxing fight.
And a boxing fight.
He is petty. He remembers. Anyway. As in me.
You're right. No, you're not wrong about that.
I know I'm not.
But, there's things, yeah. I'm just not the best friends. But that's my best friend. So.
I remember. Anyway. But yeah, I mean...
But for the most part...
I like to go out and have a good time, have a couple drinks, dance, party a little bit, celebrate. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about celebration. There's no reason to think or imply or worry about anything else. Nobody has to worry about anything else. You come out and enjoy yourself for you and her, and
I'm excited.
That's all they got to worry about.
And I appreciate you having this idea and getting it together.
Ain't no thing. It's simple. And
so JD Sports.
Just like it's simple to say if you're going or not. Come on, bro.
JD Sports.
Just saying. Don't just look at the shit and fucking ignore it. Don't.
I had a good Memorial Day weekend, and on top of it, there was so much sports going on. I got to watch a good amount of Phillies.
I was going to say, how much of this was actually relevant?
I got to watch... I didn't really want to watch the race, but my dad was watching the Indy 500, and then the race was on at my girlfriend's parents' house when I was at her house. But...
Neither of those things surprise me.
Guess what I got to do?
Besides go out, I don't know.
watch Game 6 of both series. One was the night before, but the other one was on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So while the race was going on, I still had Game 6 on. I got to watch the Warriors, who were down 3-2 at that point. Because this is JD Sports, so we should probably talk some sports.
Is that what we do here?
Do you want to start with the West or the East?
I was saying, as soon as we go live, we're going to have a lot of filler time, so it's not going to always be about sports.
I hear you. We'll get there.
It's going to get there.
West or the East?
I mean, you're already talking about it, so you might as well go to the West Coast.
Down 3-2.
Yep.
Dwight and I predicted the Warriors to win in 6 at minimum 5.
I said 5.
I said 5 or 6.
I put some disrespect on the Rockets' name.
Chris,
Which even in hindsight, I don't regret. I still, no. But hey, they proved my ass wrong, I guess. So shout out to them.
They look good.
Yeah. They got 2 more games out of it. That's all they got out of it. But I mean, yeah.
Chris Paul.
Who?
Got hurt. Hurt his hamstring.
That guy.
Did not play Game 6. Did not play Game 7. Game 6, up 18 points in the second quarter. At halftime, up 12.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was in Houston, right?
No,
Yeah.
Game 6 was in Golden State.
That's right. Yeah. All right.
And at one point...
Shocking. Yeah, it was real shocking that they were actually up like that.
At one point in the third quarter, Steph Curry scored, I think it was 8 in a row.
Something like that. Something ridiculous. Steph Curry went Steph Curry in the third quarter.
And yeah, he scored like 16 overall. Klay Thompson scored 34 in the game.
They balled out in the third quarter. They did what they do in the third quarter, man. That's exactly what ended up happening. The Warriors took a nap.
Was there any doubt in your mind at that point who was winning Game 7?
I mean...
Yes. There was doubt in my mind.
No, there wasn't. No, I had 0. I mean...
I still was picking the Warriors. I wasn't going against them.
Time out.
But my odds, because now that betting is going to be legal,
Oh, you don't say.
It's not legal yet, so...
I didn't know. Wait, it's legal now? I don't know. We haven't talked about this. You're a bettor? You bet in sports? Wait, what? That's
the odds that I
news
would have gave the Warriors going into that Game 7, if you just blindly told me it was Game 7 Warriors versus Rockets, I would have said, before the series, I would have said, To get to Game 7, I would have been interested in how you got there, but I still would have probably had the Warriors winning 80%, right? I had it probably lower to 60.
No.
But I still had them winning.
Okay, so wait, so you're saying...
I was respecting the Rockets,
Are you saying halfway through Game 6 or the end of Game 6?
At the end of Game 6, when the game was over,
Well,
I said to myself, I think the Warriors win Game 7. I said, I think the series is over. I do, because look, the way that the Rockets did not... I mean, the way that second half went, where they just missed... They missed everything. They missed easy layups, things that they don't usually miss on the inside, things that they were hitting in the first half they weren't hitting at all, things that they were hitting in the game before when they won. And I get it, they didn't have Chris Paul.
Yeah, we'll get to that conversation. But
still, they were winning by 18 at one point, and they were there. They did it. They played good defense, and their defense deteriorated as well.
That's horrible.
Partially, we just talked about Chris Paul being out. The other side of that, I would say, is the Warriors, and they did the same thing in Game 7. They were playing guys in the first half for 5 minutes. Guys like Looney, Swaggy P, Nick Young played 5 minutes in the first half, no minutes in the second half. Both games, 5 minutes in the first half. Looney, 5 to 7 minutes in the first half, 5 minutes in this Game 7 in the first half. So I'm not saying that they were sandbagging it, but they were trying to give their starters the rest early and then give them the entire second half. Those guys didn't play any minutes in the second half. They played 7 guys overall, and they'll play 8 guys overall, but really they're only going to play 6 guys when Iguodala comes back. And they only played really 6 guys in these games, but other than for 5 minutes and 5 minutes from those 2 players. But that was just to spell Durant and Curry.
Okay, regardless of all that, extra shit.
You got different looks.
Dude, okay, time out.
Harden had different looks defensively. He had different harder guys defending him in the second half.
Okay, time out, because you going 100 miles per hour as you do. Okay, well, it's game 6, right? It's halftime, right? Warriors have this ridiculous lead. I mean, the Rockets have this
12-point lead. They were up 18 at one point in the second, but it's down to 12.
Right. Well, of course, the Warriors stars didn't play more minutes in third. I mean, that just goes without question. That's like whatever. That's not saying anything to me.
But Houston was sitting their starters at that point, and then
not necessarily.
And then when they weren't sitting their starters, they were getting tired.
Right, because it has nothing to do with. Look, to go back to your original question of like 5 minutes ago, did I think that the Warriors were going to win? Like, yes, I did. 1,000 times. I thought before, I thought during, I thought after.
Down 3-2.
Look, in Game 6, all right, when they're down at home, yeah, it's kind of alarming. But even I've said in the past, years past here. And it still remains true, and it's just going to continue. I don't care what the hell the score is. Unless it's like 50-0, I'm going to always say that the Warriors have a chance to bounce back and win because they proved that a million times over. And this was another case where it was like, okay, yeah, it's not a good showing in this first half, but we all know, especially this year, especially in this playoffs, the story of the Warriors is that third quarter. And whatever the case is, and they said at the end of Game 7 that they literally they don't really even talk. They just chill and regather themselves. Whatever the thing is that happens during that halftime, they come back and they come out for your ass. And
they make adjustments.
Right. Well,
their coach makes some kind of adjustments.
I'm not saying they don't, but just the way that they were implying that they just work themselves out. It's seemingly what they have been implying is that coaches let them go out and figure it out. This is a veteran team. They don't need to be coached up. They need to just go out and figure it out. Phil Jackson historically used to do that with the Lakers. He did it with the Bulls. And, Jordan and, Shaq has said this within the past year. He would let us just go out and figure it out. He wouldn't necessarily.
When he would have called figure it out on the court. He wanted them to,
He would have yelled and screamed on halftime.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do anything. He would just y'all have been here before. Figure it the hell out.
You will.
I'm assuming, and I'm just guessing, I could be completely wrong.
Kerr.
But I'm assuming that they're doing the same thing. And Steve Kerr's from that Bulls era, so it wouldn't surprise me.
So
the Warriors figure it the hell out. And the Rockets just completely collapsed in the second half. In both games.
We'll talk about Game 7 in a second, but I want to ask you about both series, because I'll be on record by saying I kind of hedged my bet in both series. I looked at it and I said when they were down 3-2.
This man's going to keep throwing any type of bet comment he can make.
No, I'm saying, I was kind of saying, I kind of wavered one way, not really either way, because when the Cavaliers were down 3-2, I was saying, until LeBron loses, I wasn't seeing him lose. I knew they were going to win Game 6, and I thought Game 7 LeBron is Game 7 LeBron, so I just kind of figured they would get it done.
Isn't necessarily great, but whatever.
Highest points of all time. We'll talk about that.
Whatever.
Average.
Keep going.
So I kept saying to myself, I until he lost, I couldn't see them actually losing in the Eastern Conference. And on the other side of it, in the Western side, I saw Chris Paul got hurt in the fourth quarter, and I said to myself, with the Warriors, until they lose, I can't see them losing because they are the best team I've ever seen on paper. So
you need Chris Paul to go out to say that?
No, but with him out, I kind of said there's no way that Houston really, I thought, could do this.
So was it a yes or a no?
I picked the Warriors and the Cavs still, but I was not confident in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to sit here and be riding some high horse, yep, I picked them too. No, I picked them, but it's only because I picked them before the series, and I didn't want to go against it because I literally, like I said, I just couldn't see LeBron losing to Boston in Game 7 because LeBron in Game 7 has just been a different animal recently.
We'll get there, whatever. Okay, move along.
Golden State, I couldn't see them losing because I can't see them losing. I can't see they're not they just shouldn't they can't. So
I don't even know why you questioned it as hard as you did then.
Because
it was kind of
Boston didn't lose at home, and because honestly Houston, man, I mean they played some great they were shooting so well at times, and they were the most efficient team. Let's talk about Game 7 right now. 27 straight missed 3-pointers.
Let's talk about efficiency. Let's talk about stats and numbers. Yeah.
So the most efficient team in the history.
Let's talk about the real number. Who won?
Most efficient.
What was the real number?
Team.
Who got the W? Who got the 7th game? The 4th game total.
Golden State
the real number.
Warriors.
The real number. Okay, but continue with the efficiency and
the
numbers.
Most efficient team in the history of basketball, Dwight. Went over 27.
You want to say that one more again?
0 for 27 in the last 27 3-point attempts.
Trevor Ariza was like 0 of 12.
6 for 32 overall? Or 6 for 38 overall, or whatever it was?
Overall from 3? Yeah.
6 for 38, I think that was.
I don't care what the exact number is. It was an obscene number.
0 for 27 straight to end it. 0 for what? 6 or 0 for 8 for Harden? Behind 3-point line?
Yeah, something like that. And he was like that in Game 6 as well.
He ended with 30, yes. He had 0. He hasn't made a 3-pointer since what, Christmas at this point, it feels like?
Just about.
Alright, no, I'll give him more credit. Since the first round of the playoffs.
I forget exactly. They said it, but I don't remember.
No, it was actually since Game 3. No, Game 4. Game 4 or 5.
It doesn't matter.
Either way, it's been a long time.
But he had 32 points.
He did have 32 points. He was 0 for 20. 0 for 21 his last 21 3-point attempts in that series. Something of that. Of that realm.
I need to ask, and we just need to go there. So James Harden, he put up 32 points. Do you think he had a good game? Because you're Mr. They put up 30 or whatever, so it's good. So
I think that
did he play well?
He and his team played better than I expected to.
Are we talking about Game 7 or the whole series? I'm talking about Game 7, sir.
The fourth quarter and the second half of Game 7, he did not play well.
You want to retract
that? The second half. The first half, he had a very good half. He was efficient. Look, he made 6 of his first 8 shots. When they were leading by 11. 6
of his first 8 shots. Yeah, and he finished 12 of 29. He shot 41% for the game. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's so irrelevant. Don't give me that 6 of 8.
I'm not disagreeing that it turned out bad.
You always got to go there. Don't give me that 6 of 8. Nobody cares.
He
finished 12 of 29.
His second half was horrible.
His second quarter started horrible, and then he finished all the rest of the game horrible.
6 of 8, so then he only made 6 of his next 21 shots.
He shot 41% in the 7th game.
6 for his last 21 shots. That says more than anything.
James Harden. The face, the beard.
Win at halftime in Game 6. If you beat, and you were on the road, and if you beat the Warriors, you go to the NBA Finals. If you beat the greatest team ever assembled, you go to the NBA Finals.
Correct.
You beat the only team that ever won 73 games, and then they added Kevin Durant. You go to the NBA Finals. You were leading at halftime in Game 6.
You failed.
In Golden State.
Fine.
Houston, Clay, Steph and Clay go off.
Sure.
Cool.
That's Game 7.
Your best player, your second best player is hurt. Your best player goes cold in the second half. That happens. He got tired. He was handling the ball. He's up against 4 future Hall of Famers. Let's go to Game 7. Game 7, I'm not going to say any excuse for him. You can't do it twice in a row. You can't do it twice. You can't have that opportunity. There can't be blood in the water. You can't see them bleeding and not kill them. You had 2 opportunities.
You can't do this in a Game 7. You can't do this at home in a Game 7.
You can't do this at home ever. You can't do this at home ever. But this is...
This
the
is James
greatest
Harden.
team.
I don't care. No, don't go there. We know, and it's irrelevant.
4 Hall of Famers.
It's irrelevant.
We should expect this from them, yes?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, duh.
But back to Houston, you're saying James Harden.
I don't care.
Do it.
I don't care. Yeah, do it. I'm not saying you have to win, but damn, you went 12 of 29, 41%. You missed however many threes it's been since. At some point, it's not the D. It's not... Because supposedly, Steph Curry, he doesn't play good D. Oh, well, I guess that's changed, huh? Supposedly, the Warriors are known as a defensive team. Oh, well, actually, they have been for the past couple years.
I think they're the best defensive team per possession. I've been saying that for a long time.
Well, I'm just saying.
They just have more possessions. You have more possessions because they create more possessions than anybody else in the league. So if they have more possessions, you get the ball the equal amount of time that the opponent gets the ball in basketball. That's how that works. You know that. I'm not saying that you were arguing the point. I was just meaning like point is, so but per possession, they're beating teams by 15 to 20 points. So obviously they must be better defensively than a lot of other teams.
You go 0 and whatever the hell it was. 0 for whatever for 3 for however many games it's been.
As a team or as him?
As him. I'm talking about him. I don't
it's like 0 for
the team.
21
It's whatever
straight,
at this point.
I think.
That's on you. It's not like that's on you. I don't care about this Hall of Fame. I don't care. The Warriors aren't even in the conversation. I don't care if you're facing.
You had 2 opportunities.
I don't care if you're facing the Brooklyn Nets. If you're doing this, if you're producing like that or not producing like that, that is not. It's not a good look on your part. I don't care. Well, people are saying, well, he had 32 points. He shot 41%. That's not okay. That's not acceptable. That means most of those points came from the line. Okay, mazel, but that's not a productive line to me. It's all right, I guess, if you take the percentages out. Okay, 32 points. Well, damn, he did what he could do. And then people were throwing that whole,
when he had the bad parts of his game is the problem. If he would have made the last 6 of his last 8 shots, we'd be having
they won the game.
We have a whole different... No, but I'm saying instead of making the first 6 of 8 shots, say he has the same game, you just flip it to the end, and he has the much better game in the fourth quarter, you and I are having a much different conversation. It's just the gap gets closer. Instead of them losing by 8 and being close, they lose by 8 because they were down 15. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying
that goes back to the whole clutch thing, which
it's a whole different conversation.
That's what I argue about with LeBron James. I don't care what you do early on. What did you do when it mattered most in the clutch? And James Harden, and frankly that entire team, they literally just shut it down.
Entire team.
Early on in the fourth quarter.
Clint Capella was so dominant early in the game, and then he just, at the end of the game, wasn't getting any rebounds.
Not only was it in their body language, they were losing. They weren't even trying. You saw it, and they were just moping and groaning and dragging. Chris Paul's punching seats and shit. Like, you could just see it. And it was like, we're halfway through the fourth quarter. You can still, like, kind of make this a thing. But
was close.
They gave up. They literally said, we can't do this.
I know, I agree. I was watching.
And at that point, okay, James Harden, take over. This is your time. This is what you're getting paid for, James Harden. This is your time to take over now. CB3, which supposedly that's the reason, which it's not, which we'll get to, he's out. This is now your time. This is your team. It's been your team. It's not for you to take over and produce. Put these numbers up. And he folded just like the rest of them.
I'm not saying take away game 6 and 7.
Sure, leave with game 5 where he shot 5 of 21. %.
I'm not even just saying James Harden. I should have said this overall. I'm not saying just game 6 and 7 for
I can't prepare because I knew this man was going to try.
I wasn't going with James Harden, but yeah, I mean, that's funny.
That's fine. Where you going to CB3 too?
I wasn't going CB3. I was going Houston as a team, but what did he shoot? Game 5? 5 of what?
5 of 21. In game 5, 24%. Yeah, 19 points though.
He had a rough series.
19 points.
No, that's not good.
5 of 21.
That's not good at all.
This is why I was saying triple doubles don't impress me, bro, if you can't shoot well.
I mean, but he didn't do anything else. He had no triple double.
Right. But this is the thing.
Assists.
When you say, well, LeBron triple double, I was like, well, he shot 5 of 21.
But at least LeBron's getting out there and getting 7, 8 more assists a game and 6, 7 more rebounds a game.
You understand what I'm saying? It's still not okay.
His only job is to
score.
He's not even supposed to play defense.
James Harden shot 5 of 21.
James Harden's not even asked to play defense.
And damn near scored 20 points on 5 shots.
All he has to do is shoot. That's it. That's all he does is play offense. When he does one thing, he gets the ball, goes to the hole. That's it.
Stop licking LeBron's sweat off his forehead. I understand that is why I made that argument. I understand why I made that argument. It's not a whole different
Houston as a whole. Well, okay. No, Houston as a whole. I'll ask you about CP3 in a second. But Houston as a whole. Mm-hmm. If I would have told you before the series, they play well enough in 5 games to win it. Mm-hmm. They win 3 of the games. Mm-hmm. They get blown out by 40-1. At the end of the series, we're saying Kevin Durant had the best series overall as a player.
Good, we can talk about Durant too, because I got his numbers here too. He's not exempt from this roasting. Go ahead.
But, because I was going to get to that, but Steph Curry and Klay were the 2 players who held them up, who won them the series.
Yep.
They were the players in the time.
The Splash Brothers? Like
yes.
the originators, the real owners of that team?
They were the players.
The actual guys of that team?
They did it. There's no question. In Game 6 and Game 7, in the third quarter, who you had to call?
Remember?
Who were the Ghostbusters?
with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Remember when I said before, when we said, "Oh, who's the most valuable?" and I said Steph Curry, and you were like, "Well, Kevin Durant." Remember? You changed your tone a little bit. Because who? Because who was it?
Down the stretch.
Steph.
Down the stretch.
The
Steph
best
and
player
Clay.
in the NBA.
Steph and Clay. Well, no. LeBron James.
Whatever.
Steph and Clay.
It's relative. Steph Curry, best player in the NBA.
Steph and Clay were so unbelievable in the third quarter of both of those games.
First it was Clay. Clay was
unbelievable.
Clay let you know. Because they keep forgetting about him. Why did they keep forgetting about this man?
Game 6, he could put up 34 a game on
anytime he wants to, but people seem to have forgotten that. Because he let KD get his 35 on 38% shooting. Whatever.
Now we'll talk about KD because here's what I was going to go back to. So if I told you all those things about the Warriors, if I told you all those things about Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and if I told you that Kevin Durant had the best numbers overall, but at the end of the series we'd be talking about how, because we're going to talk about this, and I could see you're going on the same, about how he was not efficient at all down the stretch. Like there is definitely a switch there, and we're going to get there. That is off with him. That was before something that was talked about. Anyways, but point being is, if I told you all of that he wasn't good down the stretch, and they had a chance to win 5 of the games.
Right.
It would be so much more than either of us could have ever given them credit to. I was impressed. Like, they held Kevin Durant down in the stretch. They absolutely did. They did the unthinkable. They had a chance to win 5 games. 3 of those 5 games on the road.
Right.
Or 2 of them, I guess, because they won 1 and the other 1 game. Yeah, so 2 of the 5 games they had a chance to win on the road.
Sure. So what are you asking me?
I'm just saying, is that not?
Should I be impressed that
Houston is that not more like
around?
Yeah. Like
Sure.
like isn't that should like we're sitting here roasting them, and I think we should because look, they deserve it. The 0 for 27 as a team. Eric Gordon's
the only one that doesn't deserve to get roasted.
Right. I was gonna say Eric Gordon played great defense, and held Kevin Durant down in the biggest times, and Trevor Ariza did too. But Trevor Ariza was not good offensively.
He should have gave up shooting eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, like Charles Barkley says, you live and die by the 3. That is the prime example. Eventually, you just got to stop. Go. What was working?
The number was
drive.
And I go
Keep
back
going.
to betting 1
Keep
in
going.
702 or 700,200.
He's never gonna let betting go ever. He can't even get the
And
numbers
1.
right, but he's gonna keep it going.
72,000
7. Okay, what about it?
to 1. The chances of them going over 27 in the last 27 shots.
That was such an irrelevant number to know.
That's an incredible number.
Sure, okay, that's okay. And
they did it.
Right. That's why I said stop doing that. Eventually, you got to stop shooting 3.
And at one point, they're doing it just because they're putting up bad shots. They're tired. They're not trying to get to the rim anymore. They're not even trying to.
It was
they
bad.
were afraid of going inside. Draymond had a very bad series at times, but then in all of their wins, and I'm talking Game 6 and Game 7 especially, inside in the third quarter, if you thought you were going inside, Draymond was going to put his body on you, and he played great defense down the stretch when he needed to every time, because that's what Draymond does. And the rest of them did their job outside of Kevin Durant. I said...
You know what's funny? Are we going to get into this Kevin Durant thing now?
I went back and watched the show, right? I was watching the last show. And the last show...
Somebody did. That's what's up.
The last show... Shout out to Dwight putting LOD as the opener. The last show we were watching the game, right? We were watching the game 2?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah, it was game 2, I think. Game 2 or 3. Either way, I said about... Yeah, it was when they lost. It was game 2. I said about how... I jokingly said how, who takes the last shot? And you said Clay or Steph, and I said I'm cool with either of those or KD. And I said how they never get to the point where they have to take the last shot, though, so we never, have to deal with it. And we laughed and we joked. Well, that night they had to take the last shot, and KD passed the ball off with 11 seconds to a bad pass to Clay. He set Clay up for a bad shot. Clay missed, which it's a shot that Clay makes a lot, even with the bad pass, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that Clay should have. I'm just saying it is a shot that I've seen him make, even with the bad pass. But Clay missed, and then they had the other opportunity. I forget who rebounded the ball. I think it was Livingston. And he just threw it up and completely missed the rim.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Point being, KD, last seconds, was not the one taking the shot. He asked for the ball to be right back, but do you not always say? Does Skip Bayless not always say? Does Stephen A. Smith always say? Your best player needs to be the one taking the last shot, right?
Correct. Your best player, the guy who you paying all that money to? Yeah, supposedly.
So should have KD been taking the shot?
No.
You think Steph should have?
I keep telling you it's Steph's team, and you keep freaking telling me, well, KD. Yeah, what about KD?
So KD
he keeps referring to the best player on that team.
Should KD...
Who is not
so it's a good idea for KD to pass it, because a lot of people were destroying KD for passing that.
Well, most people aren't me, or Skip or Stephen A. Most people would say KD take that, but I want Steph Curry to take it. I don't want Clay to take it. I want Steph Curry to take it.
I guess a lot of them are the ones who are saying that KD is the best player.
Let's put it this way.
Right.
I would have rather KD than Clay, but... I'm not mad at Clay, but I'd rather KD than Clay, but I'd rather Steph over all three of them.
I agree.
And I'm not mad at... That's the thing. This is a different situation. Let's be fair. You got three.
Look, I'm not even mad
monsters.
At him.
You can't be mad,
dude. I wasn't even.
I always prefer Steph, but you can't be mad if KD takes a shot.
I'm not.
And if he misses, I'm still going to say, "Damn it, you should have gave it to Clay."
I'm with you. Steph. I'm not even mad that he threw the ball to Clay. I'm really not even mad that he did that, because if that's the second or third best shooter on his team, that just means that's the second or third best shooter in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not saying it. Like, that's not a bad thing to do.
The two other best shooters in the entire league.
Right. So like people were so mad at KD the next day, and I understood it. I understood that everyone wanted LeBron to remember. Well, even if LeBron has 5 guys on him, he needs to take it to the rim. And I was like, I don't care. Throw the ball to the outside. Give it to the open man. Even if that's short hill, that's what LeBron does. If he's double covered, he doesn't do that anymore, because now he doesn't. He gets double covered, but he can handle the 2 guys. But it's not like 3 guys covering him at once anymore. It's literally...
He ain't got no way to pass to anymore. Either.
Right. It's literally just 1 or 2 guys covering him, and that's why he's taking these shots. That's a different conversation. Point being is, KD saw it. KD was about to get double teamed. He saw Clay coming off the screen. He thought Clay was going to be wide open, and he made a bad pass to Clay, and Clay didn't get the open shot that he thought he was going to. He still got a good shot, but not the shot that he thought he was going to. And look, people were very mad at KD the next day, and I was just wondering your opinion, because I'm on your side.
I'm not necessarily
110%. KD, I'm okay with him passing that, because, like I said, if Klay Thompson isn't the second best shooter on that team, then he's the third best shooter on that team. And if he's the third best shooter on that team, then that just means he's the third best shooter in the world. And I'm okay with the third best shooter in the world taking the last shot in any situation. And then they go on to beat the Rockets by 40 points the next night or the next game at home. Then they end up losing the next game.
Right. But Durant. We still talking about Durant? Because I'm still talking about Durant.
Game 4?
What about Game 4?
He went 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter? Or Game 5? Whatever one they lost. I think it was Game 5. Game 5.
I don't know, but I got his numbers right here. Game 4, 9 of 24. 38%.
Yeah.
Game 5, 8 of 22. 36%.
They lost both of them. That was the one that he went 0 for 4. Game 5 is the one he went 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter of Game 5. 0 for 4 in the stretch.
Game 6, 6 of 17, 35%. So games 4 through 6, 38%, 36%, 35%.
Points?
No, percent.
I'm saying ask him the points.
He still had upper 20s or...
Yeah, he had a lot of points.
Right.
And my thing is, people call him the MVP of the series.
And this is why...
And I thought it was Steph or Clay, but I would have gave it to Steph, because Steph had 2 very good third quarters, even though Clay had a great Game 6 second half.
So through those middle games, Game 7, and fair, KD shot 50% exactly. Great. And he played well. He played very well.
Even in the fourth.
Right.
I'll give it to him.
So we'll give him that. But games 4,
but he didn't
5,
have to
and
have
6...
like the last shot or the big shot or the shot over LeBron with a minute to go, things like that. He didn't have to have that kind of shot in this Game 7. They were up by 10.
Game 4, 5, and 6, he shot a combined 37%. I'm going to say that one more game. 4, 5, and 6, Kevin Durant shot 37%.
They lost 2 of those 3. That's why. Right there.
That is abysmal. No, but I just need to say
you call him the best player in the world, not you, but I'm saying people call him the best player in the world or the best player on that team.
He's definitely not, and he's definitely not.
He can't be doing that.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That's... And if they lose that series, that's something that I damn sure turn to and say, what the hell was that? That's abysmal. Steph was shooting upper 40s, lower 50s the entire way. Mm-hmm. So,
Because
Right. And that's the thing. Okay, that's something I want to bring up too, because all I've been hearing about was, and I guess I don't know if it's just short-term memory or what, but people just look at the total number of points that KD had, which okay, great, and it's the Harden thing where you put up 32, but you shot 41%. So I mean, is that really good?
Yeah. What else did you do?
Whatever. And it was the same thing with KD. Yeah, he made like 20, 30, whatever points, 35, but you shot
the line.
under 40%. That's horrible.
He missed 5 free throws at one point in a row.
That's horrible.
In Game 6 and Game 7 combined.
That's not good.
He stretched it from Game 6 to Game 7.
You're supposed to be the second best or the
5 in a
best
row.
player in the NBA.
2 or 3 in Game 6, and then the first 2 or 3 in Game 7.
You're not no young scrub. You've been here. You've been to the finals. You've been down.
Twice. You've been in the finals twice. You won the finals.
Right. This is your first rodeo is what I'm trying to get at. That's unexcusable, and I haven't seen anybody talking about it. I keep hearing about how he put up 30 whatever points, and but nobody wants to talk about that. And through those 3 games, he shot 37%.
And that's the thing about what KD can have a bad series. KD can look like that. KD cannot have the greatest thing, still put up those numbers, and them still win the series. Yeah, it was a lot harder for them to do it. What I'm saying is he can do that. He can coast, and I'm not saying he should get away with it. I'm just saying that he can do it, and they can still win. That is the strength of the Golden State Warriors.
And here's the thing. In defense, this is the only time you're going to hear this. In defense of James Harden, I was clowning him about his 41% in Game 7. Right. He shot 42% in Game 4.
Better.
He had that 24% in Game 5. So ignore Game 5. Game 5, okay? Ignore that.
So he had one bad game.
24 in Game 4, he shot 42. Game 6, 42. Game 7, 41.
So he was close.
KD was under 40 every single one of those games.
Yeah, those 3 games. Right.
Under 40. And you won. Okay, so what do you want in the NBA? You won about 44 at least above?
I would say 44.
I usually say 45.
40. I say 42 to 46.
Sure.
That's what was always my range. 41, I'll take. I'd like to see him higher, though.
Let's go 44.
But I'd like to see him higher than 41, so I'm not against it. Right. I'm not saying that he hit the number that you're looking for.
Right. But you didn't even hit 40, homie. I get it. Game 7, great. Kevin Durant, he balled out 50%. You made, 30, whatever points it was. Great. He had a great game.
He did have a great game.
The 3 had a great game. But I don't think anybody should be ignoring the fact that he shot abysmal. And moving forward, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You weren't moving on from the series work because we got one more guy to talk about.
I was going to ask you about Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Hamstring?
Yeah.
Pulled his hamstring. Chris Paul. Let me back it up for you real quick. 2 years ago, Clippers thought they were the team to beat. Remember?
Who?
The Clippers.
Is that the team that gets the... Did they still get their selfies in my building? I think they finally took it. They had to have taken them down because half that team ain't there anymore.
Yes.
Clippers.
Clippers.
You got Austin Rivers banner up there.
It was still up there. Him and DeAndre, but they took DeAndre down for a week and they brought it back up.
We don't talk about that.
Anyways.
Ask Mark Cuban.
Who?
Shout out to Mark Cuban.
So...
Going through some fuckery right now. You gonna be alright, bro.
The Clippers...
Ask Morgan Freeman, ask Enzo Amore. You gonna be alright, homie.
3-4 years ago, thought they were the team to beat. They thought they were on track with what the Golden State Warriors were doing, right? They were fighting with Golden State. They beat Golden State. They were the last team to beat Golden State in the Western Conference, actually.
That was on that, huh?
The next year, Golden State destroyed them. Chris Paul got hurt in the series, early in the series. The year after, Chris Paul got hurt before they even got to that series, so they just did. I don't even know if they got to them. I think they lost to the Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. Mm. The next year, everything went downhill for the Clippers. Chris Paul did not play in the playoffs. Mm. The next year, Chris Paul went to Houston.
And
got hurt in Game 5. Up 16 points in the fourth quarter, so the game was basically over.
Yeah, he got the hell out of Dodge. That's what he did.
The game, when he got hurt,
he said that was what, Game 3?
That was Game 5. He got hurt.
Okay.
They went up 3-2 in the series.
Yeah.
He hobbled off, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have been in. I'm just saying he got hurt, and then kind of went right to the locker room, and that was basically the last you saw of him until Game 6 on the sideline.
With his little warm-up gear.
Yeah, no uniform underneath, just the warm-up. He never unzipped it, so I don't know if the uniform was underneath. They claim the uniform was underneath. They claim the uniform was underneath.
Are you playing or no? Bro?
No.
Like that. That's why I just thought it was stupid. I thought it was a little extra.
I knew the day before Game 7 that he wasn't going to play Game 7. I read all the stuff saying that.
I'm pretty sure everybody knew that. That's why I was like, why?
But they were trying to make such a big deal.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, and then to have him come out though in his warm up, and I was just like,
but he sat on the bench during warm up.
I was like, I get it. You're part of the players' union. You gotta show unity. I get it.
But yeah, so.
Which I still don't understand why that's acceptable to have an active player on the players' union. But whatever. As the president. But whatever. Go on. I'm gonna have a yawn button when we go live.
He worked.
It's gonna be like obnoxious sound. It's gonna be funny. And you can hear it from me too. It'll be real funny. That's what happens when you're a adult and you work a real job and you have a kid on the way, not me, but him.
He works for.
I'm damn sure I got no kid. The kid's not my son. I can say that now.
He works hard. All season long, all career, to get to this point. They're up 3-2 on the Warriors, the team, the mythical creature that no one can beat. And he doesn't get to participate in Game 6 and 7 due to injury.
Yep.
Sucks.
Is he the difference maker now? Like everybody and their mother is claiming he is? Because I say a big fat no. That's a huge no for me. And you know why? Because
as I said before, they got closer than I thought they would have without him. So with him, do I think they get closer? Maybe. But no, I don't think. Do I think they win? No.
I'm gonna say it tripped me out that everybody was saying
it's still the best team. It's still the best team.
So many people were saying he's a difference maker. He would have been the difference maker for this, and they would have won. I was like, this is not a situation where I don't think this is a fair situation where you can say that. When you look Game 4, he put up 13 points at 31%. Like that doesn't sound like a difference maker to me. I get it. Game 5, he did 27 points on 50% shooting. That's a baller situation. But who knows what the hell would have happened had he played this game? He could have balled out, or he could have fallen flat on his face. Nobody knows, and we'll never know.
If Iguodala would have played, do the Warriors win in 5?
Well, that's the funny thing, and people keep glossing over that fact too. Before the series started, people were saying, "Well, Iggy's out. This is trouble." That's all I kept hearing.
And it was more trouble than we thought.
Right. And it was. Right. It definitely was. But then it
kind of won 3 games.
And it evened itself out.
It did because they're still the better team. They still have the much better players overall.
And then the day after Game 7, people were saying, well, they have all these Hall of Famers before you even get to Iguodala. I'm like, you can't have it both ways. This is why you always say, we always stick to what the hell we say. I can't stand and I just can't stand that whole flip-flop and shit. Like, you can't have it both ways. Was it a big deal that Iggy was gone or no? That and they literally flip-flopped. Like I said, before the series started, it was a big deal. And then when it was over, all I was hearing the day after
is because of how good they were.
It's because we got 4 Hall of Famers before you even get to Iggy, so whatever.
I think they overcame. I think they overcame as a team an injury because they are the greatest team ever assembled on paper. I think they overcame as a team the Iguodala injury. Did it affect them more than I thought it would? Sure.
Yeah.
They were yes. Did they look
initially defensively? Yes, it did.
But
then it mellowed out because you got KD, which is a great defender. Steph Curry's a great defender. If Draymond's a great defender.
If Gordon Hayward doesn't break his leg in the first game of the season, and if Kyrie Irving doesn't get hurt 2-3 weeks before the playoffs, Boston probably is in the finals. So we could play this game.
Right. Right. If T.O.
didn't break his ankle in the Eagles, maybe
if McNabb did it,
throw up.
Yeah, if Mac didn't do that, y'all might have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
if Des Bryant would have had his catch called a catch, the Cowboys would have won the Super Bowl.
Who knows?
There's a whole bunch of what ifs, but you can't live on that. You can't live on that.
You
can't live on that.
Man, we're talking.
So
many people could be hurt.
Listen. If you're a fan and you're saying that, I get that. But these are quote unquote professionals that are making these comments.
Yeah, Gordon said it, didn't he?
Well, he's a backup. He needs to be saying that because there's a reason he knows. And no, it's no disrespect. And because he knows that there's a guy in front of him, and he knows that. And he basically said that.
Chris Paul played as well as he did the games, even the games they lost. If he played that well in Game 7, is there a difference? For sure. I don't know if they win, but he made an impact on the series that was very great and incredible, and he had his Hall of Fame-like impact on this. He had his handprints on all of their wins. he wasn't around for 4. I mean, you have to win 4. History's not going to remember this. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how good he played until this point. They're going to remember that he didn't play Game 6. He didn't play Game 7. They're going to remember that his team lost.
Yeah, the only people that will remember this are Houston fans.
They're going to remember the over 27. If you ever bring up this, we'll always talk about the over 27. We're not going to talk about the good of what Houston did. You know, we could talk right now in the moment. We just talked about how the good of what they did, and we roasted them. We did a little bit of both, but overall, yeah, this is not going to go down in the history books as a good thing, and Chris Paul is not going to go down as an uplifting part of it. And honestly, people were talking about LeBron maybe going there after the season. If they're so injured like this, I couldn't see him doing that. Speaking of LeBron, in the East.
I'm glad it's just not. Dwight does not need to have that conversation. We'll get there if we need to get there. I guess we'll get there if they lose. Well, when they lose this final series.
They're gonna. Yeah, we'll talk. We can even talk about it now if you want to.
Him going to Houston?
I'm just saying. Where do you think he goes?
I have no clue. I've been saying. I stand by that. I don't think he's going to be a Cavalier, no matter what this result of this finals is going to be. I've been saying all year.
I think if they win, he stays.
Look, I've said 2 different things, but they make sense. I think he should stay in Cleveland, but just the way that he is, which is a fuck.
Their team is so bad. I wouldn't stay in Cleveland.
Well, I was saying that even in the beginning of the season.
Bad basketball decision to stay in Cleveland.
It's LeBron James making the decision part 8, so he's going to leave. I think he should stay. Like, what are you proving now? It's like just right off, homie. At that point,
you just want him to kind of just fade away now.
Well, that would be lovely, but no, that's not even the point. The point is, like I said before, I said when he went back to Cleveland, I said don't freaking break their heart again. Don't do it. I don't hear he did everything he was supposed to do. Don't leave your hometown again. Don't do that. I didn't like it the first time. I'm not gonna like it if he does it again. Like, that's not cool to me. It wasn't cool the first time, and it won't be cool the second time.
I didn't like what he did in Game 7 of the Boston series the first time, where he just kind of stood there in the corner in the fourth quarter. The whole time I was watching that in 2009 or what I think it was, when he was about to leave. The whole time I was watching that, because I I didn't like LeBron James, but I was just starting to like LeBron James. I actually saw him that year for the first ever time when I saw him, and I was like so angry that he did that. I was so mad, and I knew he was leaving right then and there. I mean, I didn't care that he left, and I was okay with him leaving because I'll be okay with it again for the same reason. Their team sucks. I mean, their organization is fading away. They're not competitive. They're not going to be a competitive organization. There's no players on that team that we think is any good. And he's shouldering so much of the load. He's just getting too old. I think if he plays off the ball, he's gonna want to go somewhere else. Look, I think there is a better chance he stays in Cleveland than leaves. I think he has a 50-50 chance.
Look, can we not have this conversation right now? And we've already had this conversation ad nauseum.
They're saying Philadelphia is the leader on the board.
We'll have this conversation in the offseason.
I would still rather Kawhi.
We'll have this conversation in the offseason.
LeBron James.
I really don't feel like having a conversation of if he was in Philly and he would have done the same. Like, we've had this argument.
I think I'll have to play off the ball.
We've had this whole argument.
And you still have to worry about Boston no matter where, if he goes in the East.
We got a whole summer before our break to talk
And the
about
West
this.
is a whole different monster.
He ain't going there.
I agree.
Can we talk about the now?
Down 3-2. Did you feel like they were going to win? I know you're rooting against them.
Obviously. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure I did pick them. I still picked them, didn't I? Yeah.
You picked them when we were watching, but they
reluctantly, I still
they were down 0-2 in the series.
I still picked them reluctantly.
And I will give you the credit that they were down 0-2 in the series, and you still said you think they'll find a way. And I asked you, do you think it happens in Game 5 or Game 7? Because I said they have to get a win on the road. Mm-hmm. We talked about that at the time. And you said, you actually told me you would probably say Game 7 over Game 5. When I watched it back, I was like, huh.
I thought I said they lose in Game 7.
You said you were hoping they lose, but you said if you had to pick for them to win one of the two, because you said you picked them in the series. If you had to pick for them to win one of the two, you said probably Game 7, but you said Game 5 is obviously more reasonable.
Oh, all right. So I was probably leaning towards 5 more than 7, but yeah. I did a Skip Bayless, say 2 things and get the right result.
I mean, no, because you picked them before and you didn't want to go against what your original pick, and they were down 0-2. So even if you would have picked Game 5 over Game 7, it didn't matter. They still won the series. You said they were still going to win the series, and I think them being down 0-2 and you still saying you thought they were going to win the series was enough.
I'm petty, I'm stubborn.
It didn't matter. Well, we do the same thing when it comes to picking. We try to stay pretty consistent, even if we go down with the ship.
Yeah.
Look, Game 5, they lose in Boston. He had 26 points.
Yeah.
10 rebounds, 7 assists.
Yep.
I woke up the next day, and all I heard was LeBron must have been very tired and how he was off and how he didn't have.
They were showing that. They were saying that during the game, dude.
And
it made me want to vomit, honestly.
Okay, 1, of course he's tired. 2, even if he's tired, he still had 26 points. He still was the best player on the court.
So what? So what? They said he was tired, so...
All he has to do... No.
It's not a knock to say the man was tired.
They were trying to make excuses. They were trying to say like it was a bad game. He didn't have it.
That's not what they were saying, dude. They were saying he was tired.
Tim Legler said after the game he didn't have it. LeBron just didn't have it.
Have what?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what didn't he have? He had 26 points. He had 10 assists and 7 rebounds. Like, he had a decent game.
Okay, yeah. Continue. I refuse to argue these.
Better than any game Ben Simmons had in a loss.
Yeah, okay. But he didn't look tired?
I didn't say he didn't look tired.
Oh, so what are you mad about? What are you arguing?
Unless he has a perfect game, people are just like they were all over it.
It's not being all over to say the man was tired.
He had 26 points. The rest of his
you can look tired and put up 26 points?
The other 4 starters, Dwight, 24 points combined.
Great. You got 26 points and look tired.
He had more points than the other 4 starters.
Can you put up 26 points and look tired?
I'm not saying that he didn't look tired, but he had more points than the other 4 starters combined.
I heard that 8 times. Okay,
So who didn't have it that night? Was it him or was it the rest of the team?
You'd have to ask Chris Legler. I don't know what the hell the context of what the hell this man was saying. Like I said, I don't get triggered over everything LeBron James will either. So I don't know. I'd have to hear the rest of it. I'm sure you took it way out of proportion.
I was
laughing
when I was laughing when I heard it because I was
like,
"What is this man talking about?" And I didn't even.
It's the same thing with the Stephen A. Smith. We had the conversation last week or the week before, and it was like you took it way out of field of context of what he was overall saying. This is what you do with LeBron. So you know what? I don't even need to know what Chris Legler said in that context. I'm sure you took it way out of proportion because this is what you do with LeBron James. So I get it. That's Chris. I got you.
So
that's not at all what you meant. I knew what you meant. I don't give a fuck what his name is. Tim, Chris, Bobby Brown. I don't care what his name is. Speaking of Kanye for that was a bitch move on his part.
What did you say?
The Kanye West where he took a picture of...
He took Whitney Houston's...
Are you cool with that? Because I thought that was absolutely bullshit.
No, I didn't like it.
For those who don't know, he took like an actual evidence photo, or I guess it was evidence photo. An actual evidence photo of her like... Of her, yeah, of like...
Her overdose.
Her like the desk of where she like the death scene, and it has like pill bottles and spoons and shit in the picture. Yeah, and he made an album cover for some bum artist that nobody's gonna listen to. Who?
Pusha T. I listened to the album.
Your bum ass would listen to the album.
It was on Good Music.
Wait, time out. So why do you listen to the album?
Because I know who Pusha T is and I like him.
That's basically supporting that. Do you understand that?
I mean,
listen to it like 6 months from now and then tell me you listen to it, because at that point the charts don't matter. Why are you listening to it now?
I listened to it one time. I just wanted to hear it.
You're about for that. Anyway, fuck Kanye for that. That's a bitch move.
It makes you feel better. Drake killed them on a freestyle.
About that?
Well, he added that into it, but no.
Good, I want to hear it. I'll
play it for you.
I hope Drake. I hope somebody takes a picture of like Ray J or whoever pretending to be right. I hope Bobby. I saw this on Facebook. I can't take credit for this. Actually, he said, "I hope Bobby Brown's comeback album is a picture on the album of Ray J playing Kanye and whoever the other girl is playing Kim." He said, "I hope that's the album," and he showed a picture. It was the funniest reaction I saw it, and I agree with him. So anyway, I don't know how we got there, but fuck Kanye for that.
Down 3-2.
Yeah.
LeBron James put up 46 points.
Yeah.
47 points in Game 6.
Sure. And he looked tired, by the way. Just throwing it out there. I know that's blasphemy. I can't say that.
But he had it.
Yeah, exhausted is what he had.
But he had it, though.
A cramp, I'm surprised, is what he didn't have.
But he had it.
Exhaustion. You're right.
46 minutes that night or 44 minutes that night. Game 7.
This old man's going to fall over and collapse. And I'm not saying that as an ignorant thing, but I'm saying.
I mean, that's machine-like numbers. Game 7, 48 minutes, and they won.
Mm-hmm.
He had another ridiculous game. He's carrying 4 humans, 4 grown men.
4 bums.
But they're still grown men.
Sure. I get it. Okay, I get it. This is the portion of Jetty Sports Show, the weekly portion of Jetty Sports Show, where we bow down and let everybody know how great LeBron. I get it. Continue. He's carrying the whole team.
Was it
He's
not impressive to White?
This is he always got. Is it not impressive? I said good. Yeah, you have 40. Whatever. You have 40. I get it.
Both games were just off the charts impressive.
Yeah, great. Yes. And they won. Yes. Is that what you want? Because you got it.
Jeff Green had a great game.
If you're not bowing down at this man's feet, you are wrong.
Just ask him if they had a good game.
I did say it. I'm saying, can we continue? Right. Okay, yes. Continue. And he was exhausted. Yes. Did he have it? Sure. He was tired. Yes. And he won. Yes.
So you're done with the East?
No, I'm done with this, with the typical LeBron slurp fest that we have every week.
Boston gets Gordon Hayward and Kyrie back next
year. Bron Bon's on his 15th season.
Do you think they trade Jaylen Brown?
God, I don't know.
Terry Rozier had a great series. Tatum showed he's a man's man.
This team's gonna be 1,000% different next year. So I mean, it's kind of. That's whatever. As far as Boston, they way overachieved. The fact that they even made it to Game 7 is. They deserve applause for that, no matter who the hell they were facing. It's impressive, considering who they don't have.
Agreed.
I still think they had a better overall team.
And then shout out to Brad Stevenson.
Yeah,
as much as their better overall team is, shout out to Brad Stevenson.
Right. And honestly, I don't think it came down to LeBron. I think it came down to that was a big part of it, sure. But
Green had a great Game 7.
Well, that's not where I was going. I was going to say, I think, and I said it before about the 76ers, it came down to experience.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That,
Boston showed up a little bit in Game 7.
And Game 6, but more Game 7.
Right, but eventually, who do you turn to? They didn't have anybody to turn to.
Not to sit here and we don't have to roast them as much as we roasted Houston because
there's zero reason.
No, because I'm saying because they are not James Harden in the MVP conversation. But they went 0 for 16 combined on their last 13 3-pointers.
Fine. I'll let you live.
I'm not saying, look, we just talked. They have every reason to hold their head high after that series. They were on the brink of beating the Cavaliers, beating LeBron James, being the first team to do that since they did it, actually, back in 2009.
Right.
But
I put it this way: I think Houston fans should have been booing Houston out of the building. I don't think you boo the Boston Celtics.
No, agreed. Okay, agreed. 100%.
You gotta applaud that. Regardless, even if it would have been like a 40-point game, it's been like, well, okay.
They had a great season.
Yeah, right.
They made it way further than you could have thought.
Right, a hell of a lot further. Especially this postseason has been ridiculous for them, and the fact that they went 7 with this guy, good for them.
But LeBron,
can't be mad.
For the 8th year in a row going to the NBA Finals. The last time somebody else represented the East in the Finals, the Saints won the Super Bowl that year. Justin Bieber was number 1 on the pop charts. Derrick Rose still didn't win an MVP.
Yep. Yeah, I saw the SportsCenter thing too, dude. I thought it was cute.
Did they have the Derrick Rose one on there?
I think that was an extra tidbit that you threw on there. I saw the rest of it. I was like, that's cute.
Did they have the stat that 3/4 of the NBA was not in the league yet? The last time LeBron James did not.
I mean, 3/4 of the NBA was not in the league.
3/4 of the players in the league.
Okay, I'm thinking of team. I was like, wait, what? All right.
3/4 of the players.
Well, yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow, because he's old as shit and they're young as hell. I get it, right?
8 years.
Yeah, just like the dude. What's his name on the Celtics? He took a picture with him when he was a kid.
Yeah, Tatum. Yeah.
They're young and he's old. Yeah, that's what. I don't know.
And
it's
my favorite.
Incredible. That's just what it is.
My favorite LeBron James.
Eventually, they all get old and he's old.
My favorite LeBron James stat.
Oh, God.
There's only 2 franchises that have been to the NBA Finals more times than LeBron James.
Okay.
You're wearing one of them, Lakers and Celtics.
Cool.
That's just incredible. That's
that's what's up.
I find it to be astounding. Something I don't think we'll ever see again in our lifetime, and I find and
I don't. If this will make you happy, is it great? Yeah, it's great.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I don't care enough about LeBron to be.
I wasn't looking for your approval.
About it,
I wasn't looking for your approval.
It's good. It's great.
I was just look. These.
It's great.
This is JD Sports stuff I like to talk about.
I feel you, and I'm like, it's great. I will not. It's phenomenal. It's great. Anything more than that, I don't. I shrug off because I don't. I'm one of those guys that people keep saying, well, I feel sorry for people who aren't experiencing and enjoying this greatness. Well, feel sorry for me because I don't feel sorry for me because I don't care. But it's great. Good for him. You can't take it away.
The finals themselves?
It's like you can't take away those L's.
The finals themselves?
He's not the favorite again.
No, he's the biggest underdog since the 2001 Sixers against the Lakers.
You know, he's so great, and this is how petty I am. He's so great. He's been in finals how many times? 9. He was only favored in 2 of those.
I know, and he lost one of those too.
But he's so great.
He lost one of those too.
If he's so great, you're the king. Why is everybody disrespecting you then?
His teams are not good around him. Not as good.
And the West Coast is always just so much better. So,
but if he went
should I be really impressed? How about this finals jersey?
But if he went up,
he
went up and teamed up with one of those West teams, we would have been mad at him.
Sure.
If he would have went to the Thunder when they had their team, if he would have went to Houston, or if he would have went to San Antonio, or if he would have went to, I know. So what could he have done to please everyone?
Staying in Cleveland his entire career.
And just keep losing?
I guess that would have been. We don't know that.
Well,
he's the king. Whatever. He would have fucking figured it out then.
But they would have He would have had a worse finals record than he has now.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
He could barely get D Wade to come to Cleveland in his 15th year. Who was coming to Cleveland? Kyrie wanted out of there as fast as possible.
You asked what he could have done. Never leave Cleveland. And figure
I was okay with him leaving Cleveland. Like I said, I just didn't like how he did it. And I'm okay with him leaving Cleveland again.
Okay, so he became greater with as his career went on, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Why couldn't that have happened in Cleveland? And he could have eventually got to a point where people would have came. You don't know, and I don't know. But point being, I think he should have. I don't think he should have left. That's just my opinion. No, and yeah, he would have got shit on if he went to a super team. For me, especially. But I'm just throwing a little shade. I like, how impressive is it then if you stayed in this trash conference and you dominated? You did. He dominated for 9 times. You dominated and you got that far. But how impressive is it then if you are only a favorite 2 out of those 9 times in those finals? Which is why every single year I say I'm taking the field. I'm taking the field.
Yeah.
I'm taking the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the West is
a smarter move to take the field because the West always has a rotation of 3 or 4 teams that are going to be in the chance of winning the finals.
And be better than you.
They're going to be favored because the rest of LeBron James teams outside of LeBron are no good.
No, they suck.
Usually, since he's been out of Miami. And that's been every year in Cleveland. And that's why I'm okay with him leaving Cleveland because every team has been bad.
Where's he going to go?
That I don't know. And everyone look, I'm not even, as a Sixers fan, sure, I'd be happy, but...
Makes more sense than the damn Lakers do.
I agree. I absolutely agree. It makes it's starting to make the most sense. And that's not even just coming from a Sixers fan. That's from a basketball perspective.
Sure.
He said he wants to play off the ball next year. It just makes so much more sense. And
I don't disagree. Especially the way that y'all looking right now.
Right.
At least...
Still got to get through Boston.
Let me say y'all as in 2 players.
Agreed. I'm not saying that.
If you put him as that third piece,
right,
and if he's willing to take a step back just a little bit.
Gonna have to.
If he would be willing to do that.
I think he wants to.
That's the situation.
And it keeps him in contention of winning the Eastern Conference Finals.
Easily.
Over and over and over. It's still got to get through Boston, but you have a way better chance of doing it there than you do have without anybody in Cleveland going up against Kyrie and Gordon Hayward.
Yeah. You call up Ray Allen and say, bro, you still retired? You come sit on this bench with me.
I got a question for you before we start talking about the finals. Hypothetical. And, all right. I can't stand the Celtics. We've talked about that many times, and we just gave nothing but love to the Celtics. So I'm going to keep that train going. Danny Ainge does a very good job, right? We know that as a GM. He got Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
Out of Isaiah Thomas. Do you know where Isaiah Thomas is playing basketball right now?
In his backyard.
Yeah, because he's not going back to the Lakers. So that's my point. So here's my thing. So I'm not saying they should, but you saw how good Tatum is. You saw how good Jaylen Brown played. You saw how good Rozier played when you're giving them the 30-plus minutes a game. Why don't you move Kyrie for Kawhi?
I mean, that's a better basketball decision.
And you're spinning Isaiah Thomas into Kyrie, into Kawhi, which would be the most ridiculous thing of all time. But, I mean, I'm just brainstorming, and I'm not saying you could do that straight up, obviously. But I'm just like, yeah, I mean, that's interesting, yes?
Kawhi is definitely a better basketball player, so Boston, in that sense, then yeah, that makes...
I think you might have to give up Jaylen Brown or Taylor Rozier in that.
If you give me Kawhi Leonard, I'm taking it.
Right, so you go Kyrie, I don't know, the Kings pick and Jaylen Brown for Kawhi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Here's somebody that'll check LeBron.
And now you got...
In the East.
Now you got Rozier, Tatum in your backcourt, but then you got Kawhi, Gordon Hayward, and then, Al Horford and Baines running it down low for you. That doesn't sound bad at all.
No.
Moving on.
That's ridiculous, actually.
Moving on to the finals.
Yeah. Round 4.
First time in the history of American sports that a championship, including the Super Bowl, so game, but you can't just say series, but a championship for one of the 4 major sports, basketball, baseball, hockey, football. For the first time ever, you have a teams meeting up for the 4th straight year.
It's pretty damn ridiculous, man. That's kind of crazy, especially when you think back in the history of just the NBA alone. When you think back at those old Lakers 60s,
Celtics. But you had the Celtics and the Sixers.
Yeah.
The Lakers did it 7 straight years at one point.
Something like that.
But the Lakers only did it 5 of those 7 years because the Sixers had the best team of all time at one point. Before the '90s Bulls, but that ran through one of those years. In the '80s.
60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It was really just a collection of 4 or 5 teams.
There was also only 11 teams playing basketball back then. But still,
it was still dominated by 3 teams.
Oh, absolutely.
So the fact that didn't happen
didn't really make the championship all that much. But yeah, no.
Even Lakers Celtics of that time frame.
Oh yeah, they were so good back then. Even yes, absolutely.
Didn't happen 40 times. Which is kind of incredible to think about. It was also, I guess you could say, it was also more deep.
I mean, you think of hockey, the teams that have been good for decades. The Flyers won it 3 or 4 years, 2 years in a row. At one point, the Islanders won it 3 years in a row. At one point, you got the Jordan's Bulls played in 6 of 8 finals.
But they weren't facing the same
teams, right? No, that's what I mean. You just got to think of there's been opportunities there. It's just one side, not the other.
Well, we got the every now and then back to back. When was this series? It was the only one that went 3 straight, right?
Yeah, in the history of basketball.
Okay, and now we're up to 4. Damn. Yeah, that's.
I think there was a World Series that went 3 in a row.
That's ridiculous.
And that was it. I don't think there's never been a Super Bowl that went even 2 in a row.
I mean, I guess if you're a fan of that. Could you imagine actually be a fan of those teams though? How fun that would actually be. You're a fan of LeBron, I like Steph, but I'm not as invested. Could you imagine being a fan?
Yeah, but yeah, I hear you.
That'd be pretty. Man, that'd be intense.
Like a Sixers fan, if the Sixers did it 4 years in a row
against whoever, pick anybody. Against the Kings 4 years in a row, how much you would hate them, and
hate the
it would
Kings.
go back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be a whole nother. Yeah, I bet that'd be fun if you were actually like an actual fan of them.
Because for the rest of your life, you're gonna not like that other franchise.
Right.
No matter how good or bad you both are.
Right.
It's like the Lakers Celtics.
True. I mean, I still hate the Sixers, and we faced them one time.
Well, it's because of the age group that we were in at the time.
Right. And we're from this era, so I mean, yeah.
The
point being, that was one time we faced y'all, and I hated y'all guts, and I hate y'all still for that.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, if I could have had to face Lakers, Sixers, Iverson 4
years in a row.
I'd have lost my damn mind. So yeah, at this point, I feel for those fans, I guess. Because that must suck.
Is this the worst? Is the Cleveland Cavaliers, is this the worst team you've ever seen play in an NBA Finals?
Is this the worst team I've ever seen play in NBA Finals? That's a mouthful of a statement. It's the worst Cleveland team. Okay, I take that back because we got to talk about... Okay, the Maverick situation with LeBron, that's a wash, so ignore that.
Well, he lost. That was on LeBron, and he had a better team.
All right, but we washed that. That's whatever. This is, out of the 4 years, this is the worst Cleveland team. The worst ever? I'd have to really sit and... I mean, the Nets had a pretty shitty team that made it twice with Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin and Kerry Kettles.
But Kenyon Martin won the MVP one of those years. They had two guys. I'm not saying Kerry Kettle was good.
Come on, bro.
They had two guys,
Come on, bro.
It was two guys carrying the other.
This team,
I'm not saying...
Okay, I'm already going there. This team is getting swept against the Lakers. This team is getting swept against the Warriors. I don't think, as much as it would humor me and as much as I think that's a possibility, I don't think it's...
So either just because of LeBron, though.
Right, okay, right. We'll get there. But point being, no, I won't say it's the worst team.
They're pretty bad. But all right, I was just asking.
It's
People are talking about it. I was just asking.
I guess off the top of my head, I can only name the Nets. There was an absolute...
The Nets, the Sixers, the first Cavaliers team.
Are they worse than that Sixers team?
I think they're worse than that Sixers team, and that's hard, man. I'm not a person who...
I don't think they're worse than that Sixers team. Outside of Iverson.
All right, so George Hill or Eric Snow? I take Eric Snow.
Sure, that's a wash to me.
Aaron McKee or J.R. Smith?
It depends on the day, but sure, Aaron McKee.
Right, depends on the day, but I'm not disagreeing.
Kyle Korver or Kyle Korver?
No, Kyle Korver wasn't there yet. But Rajah Bell or Kyle Korver off the bench. Rajah Bell's a rookie who was just as consistent right now.
Okay.
I think that's a wash. Mutombo
or
Tristan Thompson.
That was old Mutombo.
Right.
He was still a force, but that was old Mutombo.
I agree. Tristan Thompson it's probably a wash, but Tristan Thompson probably takes it.
Sure.
Tristan Thompson probably takes it.
They got Kevin Love, too.
I was just going to say, Kevin Love went healthy versus, I don't know, Matt Geiger.
And that bench is a lot more stacked than that bench was on your team, so... Just saying.
You think so?
In comparison, yeah. You just love that team too much. You can't see it. That was not a good team, dude.
What, the Sixers team?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Right. I think the Sixers team was better than this Cavs team is what I'm saying.
Right. I think this Cleveland team has a better bench than that Sixers team.
I think the Sixers have a much better starting five, though.
Man, do the Sixers take this team?
No, they lose to Cleveland because LeBron James.
All right. We don't need to say anymore.
Over
we don't need to have any more.
Who's covering LeBron?
We don't need.
Aaron McKee. He's gonna try.
Everybody's like 5'11" on that team.
Aaron McKee gonna try.
Mutombo's the only one that's over 6 foot.
Aaron McKee and Matt Geiger gonna make their effort, but they gonna get run over.
I'm glad we went through that whole comparison and established that no, it's not even a conversation. All right.
That Cavs team's better.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cavs team's better. I just think that...
You're such a homer. Knock it off. He's such a homer. Before LeBron, the original trigger was Iverson. You are a disgusting homer. Yo, you make me sick.
But I think those Nets teams are worse. I think you're right about those Nets teams.
Anyway. Let's talk about today.
But I think that Boston was worse than Cleveland. I thought that Boston was better than Cleveland. And I still thought that Cleveland was going to win the series. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That Cleveland's team better than that Sixers team.
You
know what I'm saying? God.
In the West.
Such a homer. Well, we're not in the West. We're in the East, bro.
No, I'm asking.
Okay. Why are we back in the West Coast?
Because Game 1 and Game 2 are in Golden State.
Sure.
They've lost 2 games at home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they lose one at home against the Cavaliers. I think
No.
they win both games
They lose
at home.
exactly
to go.
0.
Do you think Cleveland wins any games in Cleveland?
1.
So you think it's gonna be a 5-game series? I think it's gonna be a 5 or 6-game series too.
I'll give them 5, and that's a
gentleman's sweep.
yeah, that's a courteous 5. That's me being a very polite 5. I'll give them 5. If the damn Rockets can take them to 7, I'll give LeBron a game.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll give him a game.
But Clay, Steph, KD are gonna have to be off.
Yeah, I mean, who steps up for Cleveland? I'm still waiting for somebody else, not named LeBron, to step up in Cleveland.
Green had a good Game 7, but that was it.
Consistent step up.
J.R. Smith didn't have a good game at all in that series. Korver had a good game here and there, but down the stretch, no.
Was Kevin Love there? I barely remember.
He got hurt.
That's right.
So they played Game 6 and Game 7 without Kevin Love. That's another impressive part of that series. LeBron's entire playoffs this year has been impressive, but I think Game 6 and Game 7 kind of was the pinnacle, top of the best of what he's done. Even the 2 buzzer beaters were great. They absolutely are up there as some of the greatest things that I've seen him do in this postseason. But Game 6 and Game 7 with no K Love, and as we were just talking about the rest of this team, I mean, Tristan Thompson, good, but not great.
No, not at all. Again, I'm looking for consistency, though. So
George Hill had every other game good.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
You can't against the Warriors. They're not gonna get the Clint Capella, Eric Gordon, Trevor Ariza game 2.
Love that. Yeah.
You know,
right, yeah.
Where all 4 of those guys were in double digits, and 2 of those guys were in 20+ points, and one of those guys had 32. And you still had your best player and your second best player. You literally need 4 guys to basically put 70 points up of those. Kevin Love,
Who's doing that?
Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith,
Who's doing
Kyle
that?
Korver, Hill. Can they combine for 70 points ever in a game?
No. Them Laker boys aren't showing up.
It's over.
I'm trying to find, we're going to have, I think in this series, it's going to be the same thing.
I hate to say it's over, but it's over.
It's so over in many ways.
And that's why I think LeBron James leaves.
Well, Ben thought he was going to leave, but with or without a ring, I think he's out.
I think if he gets a ring, he'll stay, but that's a different conversation.
He's a bum, so he's leaving. And I'll just be the epitome if they win and he still leaves. Like, oh my God, I can't stand this man. Anyway, we're literally naming situations where he might have a game. He might have a game.
It's not happening.
He might have a game. But I'm just saying, there's zero.
They're going to win a game.
You can't rely on
if they
anybody.
Do, that's because LeBron had ridiculous numbers in those games.
You can't rely on anybody.
And the Warriors have bad games then.
Not named LeBron, which at this point, eventually this man, he's just, he's going to stop, you would think. I'm not saying he's going to, but logic says he needs to stop.
Father Time's undefeated.
Well, I'm saying, just exhaustion-wise, because he does look tired, by the way. Consistency-wise, who the hell is going to help this man? Nobody. Unless Kevin Love somehow just starts. Does he come back and put up 30 and 30 and 30 and 30 and he does be that second guy that really helps consistently? Nobody's helping this man.
Even if he does, they're still not having a guy like Kyrie stepping up at any point.
No.
And that's what you're going to need.
But they don't need Kyrie from what I remember. Remember? That's why they got rid of him, because Kyrie. Kyrie
didn't want to be there.
But remember? You remember? Cleveland doesn't need Kyrie. This is LeBron's team. Remember? Remember that? Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
I damn sure do.
They do.
Right.
And if Kyrie was still there, do they win the series?
No.
I agree.
It looks a hell of a lot better than it does right now, though.
I agree. But I still don't think they win the series.
He can put it on his back. That's the second guy, I should say.
MVP.
Christ, this guy.
Predictions.
A Warrior. Because the Warriors are winning this.
I'm going Steph. Steph doesn't have a Finals MVP. It was Iggy.
Yep. Durant got one.
LeBron, Durant.
Yep.
I got Steph this year.
Sure. I have a Warrior. I don't know. I don't care. It's redundant to me.
The way we spent a lot of time on basketball, but it was good. Big basketball, a lot of basketball to talk about. We both love basketball, so it was fun.
Mm-hmm. So how many games do you got, by the way?
5 or 6. I hate to say 5. But I've been saying it for the longest time.
Man, you're allowed to bet now. What are you betting on?
The Warriors.
And how many? Betting man.
6.
Alrighty then.
Putting money on them, I'm going 6.
Alright. Just checking. Because you were kind of just on that fence. That's why I needed concrete. I'm just looking for it. Because you like to play the fence.
I am on the fence.
Alright. So 6. I got 5.
We know who we're both rooting for, though. We know I'm rooting for LeBron, you're rooting for Golden State.
Anybody not named LeBron?
Alright, so, in the NHL.
Taking a damn Sixers over LeBron. Ew, that's gross.
The Sixers with LeBron.
No. That's Dwight Quentin basketball. Because that would just make me, oh my god, I can't deal with LeBron as it is. I can't deal with Sixers as it is. That'd just be the ultimate gross.
I haven't
And
drank.
to have to deal with your ass? Like, are you kidding me? God. Does Lopez buy a LeBron shirt in Philadelphia?
Yeah, is he a Philly fan, though?
He's a whoever the hell's gonna win fucking fan. He's one of them bums. Shout out to Lopez.
100 days until the NFL starts.
Such a bum. Why do you know that?
Because the Eagles are the first game.
Do you have a fucking timer on like your phone that you have like to the second of when the kickoff is?
No, but that's a good idea.
Oh, I bet. Is that the Hall of Fame game? Like the real first game?
No.
No. Surprised he doesn't have that in his phone.
Excuse me. So, NHL.
Yeah, I agree.
We're anything but boring. Game 6, Capitals needed to win. They win 4-0. Game 7, Ovechkin scored a goal a minute and 1 second in.
Because he sucks, right?
Loved it, man. That was so fun to watch. Capitals won that game like 4-1, I think. I don't know. But they won the game, Game 7. Go to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Golden Knights, which we talked about, which was a ridiculous story. Game 1 of that Stanley Cup was fun. It was 4-4 with about, I think, 7 minutes to go, let's say.
So goalies don't exist in the finals?
God, man, it was crazy. Defense was just there sometimes, but
games coming down to goalies. What's going on? Why is it 4-4?
Because
that's kind of embarrassing.
it was crazy. But then about 5, it's like I said, 7 minutes to go, whatever. Golden Knights score a goal. Golden Knights score a goal to make it 5-4. And it was just, Game 1 was very intense and it was fun. And this is only the day after Game 1, so I don't know what happens next. But I will say, the crowd in Vegas and the crowd outside of Vegas was... Nashville last year was a place, like a party place, and everyone was talking about how it was crazy in the streets. The streets were packed in Nashville. Well, Vegas streets were packed in Vegas. So I will give them as much credit as they deserve. That place showed out inside and outside of that arena for the game. The Capitals fans, you could see red in the crowd. I'll give them credit for being a little more percentage than I thought they would. Still not a ton, because that place was rocking for the Golden Knights. And when they scored the first goal, that place went nuts. When they won the game, the place went nuts. It was fun. And as you were talking about how it sounds like not a lot of great goaltending, there was some great plays by both goaltenders in Game 1. I think that might settle down, but in the Stanley Cup, we've seen a lot of high-scoring games for the most part over the last 5 or 6 years.
Then why it's all about the goalies, huh?
Four goals is better than 7 goals. They won 6-4.
still a lot of goals.
But in the regular season, he doesn't give up 4 goals per game. You're hoping for 4 goals per game in the Stanley Cup.
Now's not the time to give up any goals.
No, but the other team's goalie's going to give up 4 goals per game.
Glad that's just an accepted thing. I guess goalies don't earn their paychecks in the finals.
I mean, I'm not saying it's an accepted thing, but look at the defenses in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're expected to make plays.
Yeah, the last 4 years, what have the scores been? All in the 30s.
How if I know?
All in the 30s.
I don't remember this.
Everyone's been in the 30s.
Okay, so.
No defense.
The NFL also just makes it so that it's not about defense.
The NHL does the same
regular
thing.
Season, so
The NHL does the same thing.
You just said that they
scoring's up, but he's still like Fleury himself doesn't. No, he doesn't give up that many goals. The scoring's way up in the NHL.
Defense in the NFL put up 30 points every single game. So I mean that's not a fair comparison.
But the Eagles and the Patriots did not.
Because Tom Brady's old and Eagles suck.
I'm rooting for the Golden Knights, but I wouldn't mind Ovechkin winning a Stanley Cup.
You said that as you had to scratch your ear, so you really feel some type of way. Knock it off. Stop frauding.
I wouldn't. I like Ovechkin. I don't like the Capitals, but I like Ovechkin.
Whose man's is this? Because I'd be damn.
He's a much better... He's like...
I would not root for a single Eagle, a single 76er, a single... I don't give a damn how much I, quote, like the person. I be a some bitch. If I hate that team, nope. I'm going to have to boo you. Sorry, homie.
Well, that's what I do with Crosby. And when they're playing the Flyers, I boo them, but I don't.
Now you're just cool with them getting it.
I can't decide if it's good or bad for hockey if Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. So
it's kind of funky.
It's...
It's about time the alleged best player gets his damn... So, I mean, can that be a thing?
One
of the best players. Pardon me.
Top 5.
Fine. Point being, over a damn.
There you go. Expansion team.
If he doesn't win this one, like, come on, man.
They have no captain.
Come on, man. How come this man doesn't get roasted like anybody else in any other sport?
He gets roasted all the time.
By who?
NHL experts, but NHL doesn't talk about it a lot.
NHL Network, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, why not?
I don't know why the NHL has not talked a lot.
Well, if it was, he would be getting roasted everywhere.
And Crosby would absolutely be as probably big as LeBron James.
So I would hate his guts?
Yeah.
All right.
Crosby would most likely be as big as LeBron James.
I hate greatness, apparently, so.
I don't think you hate greatness. I just hate 2018.
Well, them's facts.
Dwight?
And LeBron. And Philadelphia. Other than those two things, I don't hate anything. And some company I work for, but other than those 3 things, I don't hate anything.
Behind the smile.
There's a frown.
Till next week. The NBA Finals will probably be about a quarter, like a game, like a quarter, like 1 quarter into the series. I think they take a break for a couple of days and then play the second quarter.
Okay, so
and then I think they take another break and play the third quarter. And then I'm pretty sure by the end of the week, the 4th quarter is played, and we'll get game 1.
I was going to say, what is game 2? I know game 1's Thursday. When is game 2? Is it before or after we usually do a show?
I think Christmas.
Because of Christmas? Alright, so we're going to wait till after Christmas to do the show.
Christmas is... it's closer than game 2 is to us right now.
I don't doubt it whatsoever.
No, I don't honestly know. The series, I just assume that
it's going to go on for like the next...
So hopefully it's 3 or 4 games in, but most likely it's only 1 or 2. Till next time.
If we're lucky, it'll be 2, because we're going to have to probably postpone when we do this normally.
I'm Jared. That's Dwight.